Big one, lads. The news at the moment is a lot of it is surrounding this young man, Mipo Odubeko, the West Ham footballer at 18 years of age, mainly features in the under-23 side, but has played a couple of times for the senior side as well. He's appeared for Ireland underage, and Jim Crawford has fielded a lot of questions about him this week, just regarding kind of what he left the squad last time. He was announced in the under-21 setup last time, but he withdrew himself from it and he wasn't involved in it this time. So a lot of questions were asked of Jim Crawford, and he kind of talked about how he still hasn't kind of made his mind up just yet. He's from Tala, born and raised in Tala, I believe. So Jim Crawford pointed towards looking at someone like Robbie Keane as an inspiration from a kid from that area going on to becoming a legend of the country. But at the same time, it doesn't look like he will commit his future to Ireland. Apparently his hesitation is due to a long-held frustration of not being picked for the under-17 Euros back in 2019. He is eligible for Nigeria and England. What do you think of that, lads, in terms of the hesitation over that? If you don't get picked for a squad, it's one of those things where I think it should make you more kind of driven to be in the next one. That's a bad reaction.
I think it was a lot of things. It was to do with the fact that it was in Tala as well, wasn't it? Or was that
he lives around the corner?
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously tough to take, but I mean, I suppose this is what football's about and stuff, setbacks and stuff like that. And if you don't make a squad, like you said, I must try and work harder and try to get there. It's obviously just frustrating, but makes you think, like, if you didn't make a squad, let's say in the senior team at some stage, would you just give up then or whatever? Like, I mean, you have to question the attitude there. I mean, it's a tough setback to take for any player, but like, all of a sudden, just because you don't get picked for a squad, you want to play for a different country, doesn't make much sense to me. Like,
yeah, I suppose two ways looking at it, like, you'd like to think ideally that if you didn't get a call up, that'll just make him more determined. But I suppose if you're that age and you want to be called up by your country, did you say he was eligible for another country?
Nigeria and England.
Nigeria and England, yeah. Like, would it pop into your mind that maybe I'll have a better chance over here? Obviously, it's very easy, like from an Ireland fan point of view, to say, I'm on players that, like, it's not even a question. Like, you're just there, and like you shouldn't even think about it. It should just be an answer straight away. I suppose there's two ways of looking at it. There's a kind of rose-tinted spectacles way of looking at it, and maybe more real way of looking at it. But I suppose just time will tell, you know.
It's a strange one to me if he thinks he's worried about, or he's annoyed about not getting picked for a squad, and then he wants to go and try to play for England. Like, I mean, the competition over there is so much worse. I'm not sure about Nigeria, what their youth setup is like at the minute, but like,
yeah, I was probably thinking about Nigeria.
You imagine, like, this be his best course to stay with Ireland anyway, but I don't know. It's just a strange way to react about something that happened like that. Like, you'd imagine, like, a footballer mentality would be the opposite. Like, you're just frustrated, you want to work harder. But listen, I mean, each to their own, I guess.
Yeah. Deadman Watkins says here, born and raised in Tala, played for Crumlin and Joey's. All his mates are Irish from Jobstown and Ballyfermot. Also, I think Jim Crawford is a Tala lad himself, as is Kenny, so they could use that pull that they're from the area and that they will try and help him out the best they can. It's not much on the England front, lads, trust me. It's more Nigeria is hovering over the situation very closely. I have heard that that Nigeria are looking at trying to convince Andrew Umabamadile and Jonathan Afolabi as well. It looks like obviously both of them are committed to the cause with Ireland 100%, but it's interesting. I think Nigeria are looking closely at the three of those players in particular. I'm not sure if this is much of an indication to go off, lads, but I was just looking today. Mipo Odubeko, and then someone else commented on Twitter. He does follow Nigeria on Instagram, he follows England on Instagram, and he doesn't follow Ireland on Instagram. I know that's kind of like a stupid way of looking at it.
But it's a strange thing to do, isn't it? Like, yeah.
Isn't that? I think that is a slight, especially for an 18-year-old as well. I feel like that's like, it's becoming more and more in this social media thing. Is that like a slight indication of
something you'd see, like, you do in like fourth year or something like that? Like,
yeah.
I guess I know he is young and everything, but it's just strange behavior. Like, I mean, fair enough. He's pretty proud of his heritage, like, from
absolutely
each place he's from, and if he wants to make that choice, but if he's making it over this, I just think it's a really strange decision. Like,
but just you mentioned that Omar Bamadile, he might be being courted away from Ireland, but that might be slightly be on Kenny's mind on Thursday now, just to kind of cap him? And is it once he's capped,
it has to be
not
a
a friendly, it has to be
competitive
competitive
game. It can't be a friendly.
Oh, of course, a friendly. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my bad. Yeah,
played 3 friendlies for Ireland.
Yeah. I was
Famous.
thinking. Yeah, I was my mistake. Yeah.
By the time September rolls around, though, he's probably like going to be one of our in contention to actually start for a competitive game. So that's the thing. Like.
Stephen Kenny's got a fucking bag full of caps, just like fucking lads on fucking caps on lads. Like,
well, honestly, at this stage, I'd rather we do that now. Like, because look at what happened to us. Like, look at how different our situation would be. Like,
no, because it is something that has been touched on in terms of Odubeko, sorry, with Stephen Kenny has kind of got in touch with the agent directly, and I think it's been kind of said that he will be kind of nearly straight into the senior squad if he does decide to come back to Ireland. I just a quote here: "It's gone a little bit stale at the minute with Odubeko. Stephen Kenny's been in touch with the agent." This is Jim Crawford talking. He himself has been in touch with the agent. They'll be sitting around the table and discussing what's the next steps for Mipo. Whatever decision is made, I just hope it's the right one for him because he's a good fella. Sometimes an agent does make great decisions for players. I just hope that whatever decision is made, it's the right decision for Mipo. He is a talent. He's played and scored goals with West Ham's 23s and the 18s. How sorry of a state of affairs does football get into where an agent decides what nationality you play for? Like,
I was just gonna say, like, it's always a worrying sign when he's talking through the agent. Like, that always
that
worries
agent
me.
will look at it like an England international gets more signing on fees, his transfer value will be higher than an Irish player. That's just the realistic situation it is. Like,
you just hope he's like at his age, he's got good people around him. But by the sounds of it, like if he's someone in his ear like that making those decisions for him, he doesn't. Like, I mean, it should be entirely up to him and what he wants to do. But someone else like that shouldn't have an influence. Like,
yeah. He just says here he stopped following England last week after the talks I heard, but the Super Eagles are trying to offer him in the competitive squad so he can get in before the African Cup of Nations. I actually checked today and he is following England as of earlier today anyway. So as I looked it up earlier.
Follow him again. Like.
Yeah. So I think it's a tricky one. I think he's a very, very talented player, super quick striker, scores goals, and exactly the type of player we need realistically. We need players that can score goals. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't want to play for the country, I think we do have other strikers coming through, and if they're proud to wear the jersey, I'd personally I'd prefer that someone that I'm proud of to play for a country than someone who doesn't want to be there.
Me too.
You gave me Rice and Grealish right now. I'd take them. Like.
Yeah, same.
It's really funny that tweet. I can't remember who put it up, but like me 1 hour ago. Who the fuck is Sammy Schmodix? Or like me now. I will die for this man. Like,
yeah, literally, yeah. So funny, like. But yeah, I think we'll move on to the LOI chat, lads. But I think that was a good way to end the Ireland talk. The interesting one. We'll have to keep an eye on that over the next few months. Hopefully, I think it's one of those. I think Jim Crawford wants the situation just to be done soon, and just so it's not kind of a dragged on saga like the Rice situation.